Hi, Anoop. How
Hello,
are
Nisha.
you?
I'm always good. I would say I'm fantastic most of the days.
That's a wonderful thing. That is indeed a wonderful thing. The interesting thing, yesterday, I heard this thing. Somebody said that the content is dead.
Of course, it's dead.
And it kind of got me thinking because I've also realized that a lot more people have started reading. I was recently reading it at somewhere. I don't remember where exactly, but people have gone back to long form content. People are buying more books, even though it seems like we have too much of noise around us in terms of content. But no, people are longing to read good content.
So, two things, right? Content is dead, but it's a cat. It's got 9 lives. So don't worry about it, right? It keeps coming back in different
I
ways,
hope
different
not
formats.
Schrodinger's cat, though.
So the interesting thing is, so-called content has taken various formats, right? From the storytellers of the town square from yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about religious scriptures, but the storytellers, right? That's how
the
we
gaon ki chaupal kind of people.
Yeah, that's how generationally information and knowledge got transferred, right? Your grandmother's stories, sitting while she was cooking something yummy, and she was telling you a story. That's how most of the information got transferred. Most of the knowledge got transferred, right?
Yeah.
Anecdotally and all that. So that's also content. It's such an ugly word, right? You don't go to a movie theater and watch content. You watch a movie.
Watch a movie, exactly.
But then somebody had to label everything together as they do. So content is not dead. It just transforms itself. So stories, we still love stories. It's just that it went from grandmother's stories to books when printing was available, to newspaper when mass printing was available, to radio when radio was invented, to television, movie theaters, internet, social media within internet, right? Reels now, TikTok, etc. It's just the medium of telling stories have changed, and the way stories are told have changed, and the types of stories have changed. So content is dead, but it's a cat, right? So that's one way to think about it. That's
actually a very hopeful way to think about it. I'm so glad you're saying this because, yeah, you're right. We just keep on changing the format, but content has 9 lives.
Stories are not dead. Till humanity exists, stories will be told. How we tell them, whom we tell that to, and how it is transferred from one place to another may change. Right? It may be a screen on your hand today. It might be a screen on your face tomorrow. You don't know. But that's technological improvement.
Yeah.
That has got nothing to do with our need for stories and our ability to tell stories. Now people can question, what about SEO? What about this? And I say, okay, the larger umbrella is a story, right? Now, what do you want to do with that is important. Hey, you know what? I want somebody who's driving at 60 miles per hour on the highway to instantly recognize what is the brand. Great. Put a big billboard which can be seen from 2 miles away, and it should have just 3 words. Open happiness. You're done. Right? So that's where copywriting came into being. Because you had to say something which was instantly recognizable and memorable.
In a very short sentence.
Because most of the, as few words, because again, right, most of them were highway billboards or hoardings as they call them, right? Yeah. That's where the creativity was. All the advertising professionals came up because they had to say this in as little, as short in words as possible, right? And as creatively as possible. And of course, and this is a lot of it is from US, where direct copywriting, because you could send it to somebody's mailbox, physical mailbox, not inbox, and they can read that flyer. So the flyer or the ad in the newspaper had to be attractive enough.
Yeah, to be able to catch the attention immediately and hold it.
Right. This is in the era when newspapers were also black and white, right? You were not printing color yet. So images would not stand out. Words would. Therefore, your words had to be crafted carefully. That's where copywriters came. Direct response marketing came into being. So writing that copy was all about making the person read the headline, then the second sentence, and the third sentence. The job of the headline was to make the person read the second sentence. So on and so forth till the promise came up.
And we are still following the same format, even with the internet. Like if anybody who is a techie or who's building websites, H1 and H2 and H3, header 1, header 2, header 3. I think, and that is also the norm and the structure of writing.
That's the essay writing format. So if you see, think about writing as such, writing is always broken into paragraphs, right? I mean, English writing is broken into paragraphs.
Into paragraphs.
And paragraph headings became necessary at some point to convey the flow of information, right? If you see the essays,
the intent of that content, and then the second, I think the H2 was more about putting the context in place.
Again, if
And
you
then
think about essay writing in schools, we don't have headings.
Hmm.
H3 doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
Subheadings. Some people may have used them, but you
Just the
usually don't have.
title. Yes.
Novels, for example, don't have headings as such. They have chapters. So
Yeah.
where did this heading business come in? Heading business came in copywriting mostly. So that, again, right, copywriting is where this heading business came up, because the person is not willing to read that 500 word write up, but they're very, very willing to scan the headings quickly.
Yeah. And the blurb. Yeah.
So the headings were actually blurbs that should catch your attention, what we call as bold now, right? Bold and italics. So the purpose of the heading was to catch your attention and make you read that paragraph, even if you're not reading the entire story. But the interesting thing about storytelling is, you have copywriters. Now you also have essay writers. A lot of good writers were great essay writers. You have novelists, fiction, non-fiction writers. Non-fiction I'll not take in. Fiction writers. They're telling stories in chapters, books, novels, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. Right? One of the most famous ones of our time is A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones.
Yes.
It's still not done, by the way. The novels are still not done. We're still waiting.
I have not watched or I have not read the Games of Thrones. Actually, one of those few people who have
very well crafted fantasy world. The world building is excellent. It's not done yet. I don't think it'll be done. What we know is, think about it. On the internet, on newspaper, in radio, all these places, we are telling stories, but we are telling them in such different ways. So, but your question was about content. So my thing is, what do you mean by content becomes very central to it.
Exactly. The purpose of the content. See, again, working with my clients, especially these days now, I'm facing 2 or 3 different challenges. So there are some who think that because of AI, everything has become so much easier that they can do it or they can hire somebody to do it for them. And that is one. The second is, again, there are a group of people who really do not understand the value of storytelling that their brand needs to do, just so that people are able to associate their brand in a certain way in their head, the headspace, creating that headspace.
Agreed to all the points.
And also content is it's become such a tossed word. Everybody uses the word content. So Netflix is, movies on Netflix is also content. Reels on Instagram is also content. So content means what? And okay, you can get technical about it. Maybe you and I are technical people who work with content in a different way. But for a layman, content is just like something they will throw.
No, again, think about it, right? I mean,
much used word.
What goes viral? Cat videos used to go viral a lot. Cat GIF, right? Animated cat
Ads,
videos.
babies, food. These things just kind of.
And they're all emotional, tugging, or they're entertaining, emotional stuff, right?
Yes.
It's not storytelling. Of course, it's not. So it's just cute. And people were there scrolling and looking at this on Facebook and all that. So tell me something.
So that is the danger I'm trying to outline, Anoop. So the cat is like what? It's nothing. It's just time waster. But it's
so is a movie.
So it's but with the movie, there is still a lot of things that happen with the movie. You're transported to a different world.
Think of it. Think about it.
I know the point you're trying to make.
It's a waste of time, isn't it? I mean, you read a fiction novel, so what? Big deal. What did you learn from it? Oh, there were some fantasy animals and some dragons and somebody.
I know what you're saying. I know the point you're trying to
make. But the subtext, there is a subtext also. A lot of novels, I believe, and I actually practice this, right? I read a lot of hard fiction, mostly the sci-fi, fantasy, adventure genre. That's what my preference is. I don't like the dramas and all that. But then a lot of that requires a lot of creativity, understanding of humanity as such, the political intrigue to scientific
principles. The human nature, the psychology, or the subject matter.
Read a novel, let's say the Dune series, Frank Herbert, which has become a very popular couple of movies. Very popular, yeah. Now, original series, there are 6 books, but then it has continued. His son has continued. A lot of books are there now. They're very dense. Yes. They're almost like a high chant poetry many a times. It's a narrative fiction writing. It's not dialogue driven fiction writing. It's almost he did
like
this,
composition based fiction writing.
and it's dense. It's also very counterintuitive to how you see stories, because stories, especially from the West, were all about hope and good versus evil. But Dune stories are about good can be evil and evil can be good. There is no correct demarcation.
Yeah, the binary. They do not follow that Western classical binary system.
And it was controversial in its era and all that. But then the thing is, when you read these stories, you have to get really deep into the world building. So again, you can say that it's a waste of time reading these novels. But I can also say you can understand the reasoning behind a lot of actions. You can pause and say, this is the outcome. But do the ends really justify the means? You can ask questions of yourself.
Yeah, so I get your point and I agree with them as well. But that is precisely the point I'm trying to make. So when we say content, we are putting everything, a mindless cat video or a reel, and a very well structured, thought out, like something, a work of art, a piece of art, say for example, Dune story. We are putting everything in the same platform. And I think that is not fair.
That is a problem. Right?
That is and I think it's an abuse to human creativity when we just kind of put everything.
Really, people don't have the time to categorize them. The consumer can categorize broadly: children's story, fiction story, fantasy fiction, sci-fi, business books, biographies, right? Yeah. There are categories that we know, we remember. It's not like, what is that movie? It's a comedy movie, right? It's a drama movie, it's a thriller movie. So unfortunately, in India, a lot of movies are a mix of everything. What is a movie? That's why it's called a masala movie, right? It's a mix of everything.
Yeah, we like thali system, Anoop. So remember you had this thali concept of marketing.
I still have the thali concept. I think it's a good way to explain a lot of these things. But see, when we talk about content, the business context, the end motivation is, will I get more revenue?
Revenue, always. Is this going to bring the moolah?
And the fear is, am I going to lose a bunch of money investing into this initiative, which is not going to get anything for me?
Yeah.
Outcomes are not clear. And in business context, there are 3 different types of writing or content that you have. Number 1 is your copywriting, which we talk about, ads and short form and direct selling.
Crisp, concise, precise.
It's selling. It's direct.
Point. Yeah.
It's a sales-oriented instrument.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, many people follow the copywriting principles when they are writing blogs.
Yes.
Or they are writing social media posts. Or they are trying to make a video. There's something called as VSL. It's a video sales letter. It's usually a 5 to 30 minute long video, which is nothing but like a sales copy. You're selling. It's got a very specific
in just
structure.
A visual format, yes.
On the other hand, you have blog articles. They are informative. They have to be information, because how do people will discover blogs? Is by searching. Maybe it was in Google, now it is in ChatGPT, but it's by searching you find the blogs. And if the blog doesn't answer your question, will you read it? You'll jump back, right? You'll say, no, this doesn't answer.
This doesn't resonate. This is not what I'm looking for.
So it's about conveying that information in a manner which is easy to understand. Maybe having diagrams and images and all that really helps. But you are teaching somebody something or telling somebody something. Somebody could be just searching for the address of this pizza place. That's informational.
Yeah.
Finally, the third type of content, which is actually storytelling, is what resonates the most. So your storytelling content is on your blog or can be on your social media.
Social media to begin with, yes.
So which basically means written posts, images, infographics, carousels, videos can use storytelling format.
Because so what you're essentially saying is, Anoop, that it is an approach.
The intent matters.
The intent matters, yes. Because some organizations just put their business communication, like hard facts. You'll just talk about, we are this, or these are our features and this is the benefit. Like very business-like approach.
Not even business-like approach. It's like me.
It's right? Like me.
You're not looking at the person who's reading it or consuming it. You're like, I did this, I am so and so, I am me. It's like an announcement.
Right.
It's
But
not
with the
communication.
story, it's not communication, but with the storytelling approach, that same thing is presented in a very different way. It's lyrical, it's organic, it is
Memorable.
memorable. Yes, it makes an impact. It
Where
tugs at the emotion.
all of us have read the story of the hare and the tortoise, the race. And if you see the fables, right? A lot of fables we all remember, right? So if you remember the story format, you say once a hare and a tortoise wanted to have a race.
Yeah.
Or the tortoise was boasting and the hare, and they wanted to have a race, right? And as a kid, you know this is a faster animal, right? It should win.
Yeah.
But in between, there's a twist. The hare took a break, slept off. Lazy hare, right? And the tortoise won. Perseverance. Of course, it's supposed to teach you a lesson, but you remember that.
And everyone knows it. The
Everyone
virality.
knows it, right? So memorable is what a story should be. We should not be boastful. Like ChatGPT usually ends up creating very, very disjointed posts and storytelling. It's very difficult to follow. That resonance is not there. The narrative structure is broken because it's borrowing copywriting narrative structure.
Yeah.
Not a
Not really.
storytelling.
I mean, it all depends on the approach, Anoop. The kind of prompts that we are giving to ChatGPT.
Please, you can try it right now. Ask it to write a social media post for XYZ. It'll give you a copywriting. And then after it is written, ask it, what copywriting methodology did you use for this? Or structure did you use for it? It'll tell you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that.
The trouble is that, right? Your intent is to be memorable, but you're using
The
devices which are supposed to sell, not be memorable.
Yeah. And also the format in which it should sell.
Yeah, the medium. It could be video,
The
could be that's and the platforms. Those are the other factors, the technical factors. I'm saying, okay, you have a beautiful script to tell a story. One of the reasons MrBeast, right, became so famous, PewDiePie became so famous, is because their videos had that intrigue. They were not selling. They're entertaining. It's a storytelling format. Right? The reveal will come later on. I put a person who was 200 pounds in a house filled with gym equipments for 100 days. What happened after that? I'm intrigued. I want to know. That's what good movie directors know. They tell the story in a way that keeps you engaged. Hooked. Right? So the good narrative will focus on the central character or characters.
But
a bad narrative will fill in with so much extra
fluff
that you lose focus. So when you ask this question, content and is that, no, we consume content every day, every single day of our life. As a business, you have to decide what do you want to do with this content. Do you want to sell? Okay, then it's copywriting. Then it's advertising. It may or may not sell because the product is good, bad. I mean, that has its own mechanisms, its own, entire, let's say, academic, the study has to be done there. You want people to remember you, memorable, associate you, association. So storytelling has to be done. You want people to visit you because they are seeking something. Then you have to have blog article writing or informative article. All are different formats.
Yes.
Decide what your end outcome is and build towards that. Storytelling is not for revenue, it's for memory.
Memory. Yeah, that's a wonderful thing because the intent matters. It would be, sales has its own journey, like building that sales funnel has its own journey. But for people to remember your business, your product, or your service, I think storytelling is the key. So long live content. Content is dead. Long live
content. So you have content is not just one monolith. You have lots of weapons in your arsenal, right? Even in the context of business, you can decide how that will happen. So understand what the outcomes are that you're looking for and then choose the right weapons, the right people, and then it'll be executed properly.
And also there are certain universal truths and storytelling is one of them. So content may be dead, but storytelling definitely is not.
Content will transform itself. The medium will change, the platforms will change, the devices will change. You may have 3D holographic stuff coming up in the future. But the fundamentals is retention of attention and memory happens only when it is told in a engaging storytelling format. Very simple. So don't go to the theater and consume content.
Go to theater to watch a movie. Exactly.
All right.
Right, Anoop. Wonderful conversation as always.
As always, Nisha. Thanks. We'll catch
See
you
next
later.
time. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.